Well, okay, we're doing our review. This is a couple of ones that you didn't see on the previous video. We're going to go ahead and do number one. If you notice, it's in parentheses. We're going to create our line. Okay, just like that. We're going to solve. Because of the parentheses, we're going to distribute this -4 to the -3x and also to the 7. Remember, it's a -4. So -4 times -3x is a positive 12x. Okay, -4 times positive 7 gives me a -28 equals. I didn't change anything on the right side, so I'm going to bring it down. -64. Be careful, right here is where you guys tend to not bring down the negative. That was what we saw in the quiz a lot, so make sure that we bring down the negative. Now, in order to solve for x to get it by itself, we have to undo addition or subtraction. Here I'm subtracting 28 from it, so that means I'm going to add 28 because that's how we undo the process. You heard on the other video that means the inverse operation. That's what inverse means, is opposite. Okay, so in this situation, -28 plus 28 is 0, and that's where it cancels out, right? Well, 12x plus 0 is 12x, so that's why we bring down that 12x equals -64 plus 28 is equal to 36, -36, I believe. Okay, and then we divide both sides by 12, and we get a final answer because 12 divided by 12 is 1, leaving us with a 1x. X is equal to negative divided by positive is a negative. 36 divided by 12 is 3. So your answer is x equals -3. All right, on to the next problem, number 2. Okay, we have a fraction here. A lot of you guys get scared on fractions. This is 3/4. We can easily change this to 0.75x, or I like to do this 3x over 4. Okay, and you'll see why I like to do 3x over 4. But 0.75x is probably what would be easiest for everyone. Okay, so the first object we do is the same just like we did number 1, undo addition or subtraction. So we undo addition or subtraction by adding 9 to both sides because we're subtracting 9. Remember, we're trying to get x by itself, so we get rid of the stuff that's on the x side. There's no x's on here, so we don't need to do anything on the right side first. So -9 plus 9 is 0, cancels out. 9 plus 9 is 18. Bring down the 3/4 x, or 0.75x, however you'd like to use it. Decimal in this case would be fine, but in the future, fractions won't always be so easily defined as decimals. So the basic concept here is since they're next to each other, that means multiplication. So what we can do is divide by 3/4. Okay, and this is the way I taught you in class, so we're going to go ahead and do it this way. I'm going to do 18 divided by 3/4. Now, when we do this in a calculator, make sure we put this in parentheses, and I'm going to show you just how we should be typing it in the calculator here. Okay. Okay. So in the calculator, we should be typing it 18 divided by, and we're going to do parentheses. Okay, control divide. I'm hitting the control and then the divide button. That gives us that little fraction key that we see here. Okay, divided by 3 on the top, 4 on the bottom. Close parentheses. And then we press enter. So that gives us 24. Okay, so that tells me x is equal to 24. All right, now we move on to number 3. Here's my answer right here for number 2. On to number 3, it's just distribution. Remember when we see parentheses, distribution. So this one's going to have a lot of steps. So you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use a scratch sheet of paper to help solve this one because it's going to take up a lot of work. Okay? What we need to do here is we need to distribute the 0.75 to the x and to the 20. When we do this, we have 0.75 times x, which is 0.75x. And it's a positive, so it stays positive. When we type 0.75 times 20, we get a positive 15. Okay? Equals. Now remember, that's what this long line means. Equals 2. Remember, we're not distributing this 2 because there's an operation in there that's not that's meaning to leave this 2 alone. So we say 2 plus. Now we distribute this 0.5. 0.5 times x is 0.5x. Okay, 0.5 times -2. -2 is a -1. Okay. Now before we move on, we always want to check for like terms. You can do this. See if you have like terms. No like terms because this 0.75 has an x, that 15 does not. So I move it over to the other side. I have a 2 plus 0.5x. Those are not like terms because this has an x, but I have a minus 1. Well, this 2 and this minus 1 are like terms because they're constants. Okay, constants, remember. Okay, so I can combine those two to get 1. So I get 0.75x plus 15 equals, well, 2 minus 1 is 1 plus 0.5x. Now I combine them. Remember, that's kind of like if I added 2 plus negative 1 is still 1. Okay, now I've done my like terms, I've done distribution. Okay, now I want to get my x over to the same side. So now what I'm going to do is, if you notice, I'm adding these two things here. I'm going to go ahead and subtract minus 0.5x minus 0.5x. Okay, don't forget to bring the x over. This is what a lot of us forget to do. We're doing the x. Okay, 0.5x minus 0.5x is 0. That's why that cancels out, leaving me with 1 equals. Okay, so 0.75x minus 0.5x, you can think of this as 75 cents minus 50 cents. That's really what it resembles. So that gives me 0.25 cents, right? 25x, okay? Plus 15 equals 1. Now we're down to the simple 2 steps. Remember, undo addition, subtraction, undo multiplication or division. So with this key concept, we have adding. We're adding 15. That's our constant. X is our variable that we're trying to solve for. So we want to subtract 15 to both sides. That cancels to give me 0. That's gone. So I'm left with 0.25x equals, well, 1 minus 15 gives me a negative 14. Okay? And now we're left here. Remember, when the numbers are next to each other, that means multiplication. So the opposite of multiplication is division, right? That's the inverse. That's what the teacher was talking about. So we divide both sides by 0.25 each. Okay, 0.25 divided by 0.25 is 1. That's what we want to get. We want to get 1x, and you'll notice I don't really write 1x because it's implied. Okay, 1x equals negative divided by positive is a negative. Might as well put that one down. 14 divided by 0.25 is 56. So my answer is a negative. X equals a negative 56. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this right here. X equals negative 56. And I have enough room on there. And so I'm going to put this up here. If you want to pause to see the work, go ahead. All right. Now, on to number 10. I'm going to skip around. I apologize, but I want to make sure that I hit as many problems that I think that need to be addressed. Okay, so what I want to talk about is number 10, and this is where we're talking about the perimeter. Okay, this is our rectangle that it's giving us. It's saying the length of the rectangle. So this side right here is what we usually call the length. Okay, it's saying that is x plus 5. Okay, so that means that's x plus 5. We go ahead and put that parentheses. Okay, because it has parentheses around it. And then it says its width is x minus 3. Okay, well that's x minus 3. Okay, find the value of x. So we're looking for x. If the perimeter of the rectangle is, that's a key word in math, is, that means equals 40. So perimeter is my P, right? Perimeter is my P, and hopefully I need to zoom out a little bit. Okay, so you can see the whole problem. Perimeter is my P, and then is 40. So that means in this equation that it's giving us for perimeter of a rectangle, that's what we're going to replace with P. P is going to be 40. So we have 40 perimeters is, right? Equals 2L. Well, what is L? L is my length. Length is x plus 2. So in parentheses, x plus 2. Plus 2W. Well, what's W? W is x minus 3. So we put x minus 3. Okay. Now we have it all set up for parentheses and to find our perimeter. So let's go ahead and solve. We distribute because we have parentheses first. Okay, we have 2x plus 4. We distribute because we have parentheses here. That's plus 2x minus 6. Oh, that should have been 5. I apologize. So that's 2x plus 10 My apologies. That should have been a 5, not a 2. I was getting ahead of myself. Anyway, now we combine like terms. 2x and 2x gives me 4x. Those are like terms because the variables are exactly the same and their exponents are the same. In this case, they're 1. Now I have 10 minus 6 is 4. So this tells me 4x plus 4 is equal to 40. Now you can see I'm almost solved for x. I'm finding what x is equal to. Minus 4 to both sides, just like we did before. Plus 4 minus 4 is 0. That cancels out, leaving me with 4x equals 40 minus 4 is 36. Now I can divide both sides by 4 to simply get 1x, okay, or just x. 36 divided by 4 is 9. So that tells me x is equal to 9. Now that doesn't necessarily answer my whole entire question, because we want to go back to it. It says, what are the dimensions? Okay, dimensions means length and width. That's what it's asking us for. So I'm going to substitute 9 in for this x. 9 plus 5 for my length. And then 9 minus 3 for my width. 9 plus 5 is equal to 14. So guess what? That's my length. 9 minus 3 is 6. That's my width. Okay? And that's how we do number 10. Remember, distribution when parentheses, just like number 9. Distribute. Okay? Sorry, this plus is an error. Don't worry about the plus. Negative 3, distribute. Negative 3, distribute. Remember, that's a negative 3. Okay? We're going to go ahead, if you want to, go ahead and skip number 8. Number 8 was a big problem, and I showed everyone how to do that in class, at least for the most part, I think. Okay, let's go ahead and skip on to the back. Word problems. Gotta love those word problems. Gotta practice. Okay, Robert paid $200 registration fee, and so 200, that was a fee that he paid up front, and so we're gonna add something to what Robert paid. A monthly charge, monthly, that's a key word, of $39 to join a new gym. So what did he pay monthly? He paid $39 per month, and we know per means multiplication. So that means M. We're going to use M for monthly. So far he has spent $629. So that's like a total. So spent means equals. How many times has Robert gone to the gym? So what that means is $200 plus the 39 times per month is equal to the 629. Okay, now it's just simple solve. Undo addition, subtraction, undo multiplication, division. So minus 200 to both sides, cancels, left with 39m equals 629 minus 200 is 429. Okay, now we can undo the multiplication of 3 times m by dividing by 39. So divide by 39 both, and we get m is equal to 11. Okay, 429 divided by 39 is 11. So he's been there for 11 months, almost a whole year. The key thing is reading the words, knowing what means what. Excuse me. All right. And I will send the answer key out in a few, but those are a few problems that I wanted to do. Thank you.